Hello and welcome to our final module. So I'm sure most of you are already starting to celebrate that we are in the home stretch. So this final module is going to take us through our last 2 weeks together, and hopefully this is going to be a very practical module as well as a culmination of everything that you have been doing over the course of the last 8 weeks. So when you go into the module for this week, you're going to notice that we are focusing on entering the profession. So I know some of you are already in the field, and some of you are in the field but wanting to move to a different type of position, and some of you are just getting ready to enter the field. And so that really is what the purpose of this module is for, is to help you either move forward or get into the field of education. So when you look at the module, you're going to see that we're going to be looking at teaching jobs, support, where we fit into the bigger picture. And so when you look at what is going to be done in this particular module, you're going to notice that there's nothing other than this reflection paper right here that's going to be brand new. So there are readings for you from the textbook, and I really hope that you have enjoyed the textbook. I do think it's a really practical textbook that you will want to keep and refer to. But chapters 13, 14, and 15, as well as the online resources in our reading and resource folder, are going to help you as you complete this final module. So your final journal entry is going to be due in this module. Your hours log with at least 40 hours is going to be submitted. There is one final discussion board. And your teaching philosophy, now you're going to put it into the final draft format. So as I said, the only thing that's new during this module is going to be the reflection paper. So when you go through, you see that I have the links for everything for you to be able to submit. And when we look at the reflection paper, which I went ahead and pulled up, you're going to notice that really what you're doing is you're going to be taking everything that you learned, good and bad, during the course of your 40 hours and putting it into a reflection paper. So this paper will probably be between 3 and 5 pages. You will be surprised when you sit down and pull together your journal entries, what you pulled together for your philosophy. That's going to take you no time at all to do. So again, don't go way over the 5 pages, but I would expect at least 3 pages when you do this. But really, this is meant to be the culmination of everything that you've done in 40 hours. So what kinds of things did you see that were fantastic that you're going to want to use? What kinds of things maybe did you see that maybe weren't so fantastic that you would want to do differently in your own classroom? But again, this is meant to be the application. You have had to sit again for 40 hours and watch teachers do things, the way they set up their classroom, the way they differentiate instruction. And so this really is your chance to take what you have observed and put it into practice. So follow APA format for this assignment. If you're not familiar with APA format, that is the format that's used in the social sciences. And if you have never really gotten comfortable with it, my favorite website is the OWL at Purdue. Because it already has templates available for you. If you're wondering how to cite any kind of source, it's going to be there for you. But I do want to see at least a cover page, page numbers. Running heads are fantastic. And I really like papers that are set up using headings because I just think that it helps the paper flow instead of this long narrative and I'm trying to figure out what topic you're going to next. So not required, but just kind of my own personal preference. So that's what you're going to be doing for your reflection paper. With your final draft, you've done 2 drafts of it at this point. And so taking your comments from your second draft, as well as anything that I may have responded to you, now you need to put it into your final format. And so the instructions for that are here as well. But again, it really is just formalizing what you've already done. And then finally, when you get into this final discussion, this is going to be the most practical discussion board that you did, because you need to find out how you can get into a classroom and what kinds of things you need to do, where you want to be, what kinds of requirements are there. Really kind of thinking through some interview questions. Now, when this course was originally developed, one of the requirements was a mock interview, but because we are in a shorter 10-week span, I'm not going to be doing that. But this discussion board is meant to be kind of your mock interview. If you were to go into an interview with a principal, they're going to ask you things like, why do you want to teach here? What is it about this school district or this particular school that attracted you to us? So really spend some time making this personal and practical, because you are going to be sharing this with your classmates. You are going to be creating your own thread. So it's not like the last two discussion boards where you need to go in and respond to one of the ones that I already have. Here's where you're just going to create your own thread. But this is such great information, because we never know, especially in this area, if people have to be transferred, so they have to move. And so it's kind of nice to know what kinds of positions are available out there, looking at the variances in the different school districts, what they require, what they expect. So have some fun with this one, but again, make it really, really personal. Don't just pick a random school district. Do the one that you think you're going to want to be in. What's the point of doing an assignment if you're not going to get anything out of it? So that really is all that you have for Module 5. What I will say is you need to go into the grade book and look at things that are still outstanding. As I said in my announcement, I've really kind of had sliding due dates for this summer, simply because it took a while for some students to get into a classroom. Some were able to get in immediately, so everyone was kind of at different points of their placements. However, all assignments have to be done by July 31st. The end of the semester is August 1st, but I have 24 hours to get my grades in. So I am asking that all assignments be in by July 31st. But I have tried to keep up with grading as we've gone, so you should be able to go in and see what you still have left to submit. If you've already submitted your 40-hour, then I probably gave you credit for the 20-hour submission as well. But if you haven't done that yet, then please make sure that I get that. Remember, 40 hours is absolutely essential to passing this course. You can't pass the course without 40 hours. Again, it is not my requirement. It is a state requirement. It is a VCCS requirement. It is a SHEV requirement. So it is something that has to be done. But I have thoroughly enjoyed working with each and every one of you this semester. I really have enjoyed seeing what you have seen in the classroom and looking at your analysis and your reflections of how teachers have done things. I've been really impressed by the things that you've noticed that are developmentally appropriate, as well as the things that aren't. And I really have appreciated your suggestions of what kinds of things you would do differently as well. So the purpose of this course really was to get you just grounded in the foundation of education, and being able to walk out of this course with some really practical assignments, teaching philosophy, lesson plans, assessment, observation, reflection. All of those things are things that are going to be helpful to you when you go for an interview, or even if you're going for a promotion, to be able to prove that you have kind of furthered your knowledge in the field of education during this course. So I hope everyone has a great remainder of this course. Don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions or concerns, and I hope that you will stay in contact after the course is done and let me know where you are, how things are going, and I'm always here to be a resource for you. So enjoy this final module, and I look forward to reading and grading and getting all of your assignments done by July 31st. Thanks.